Wow. Well, if you needed proof, Luke Mulholland isn't your typical teenager. I think that was it. The 16-year-old, yes, he's 16, is spending his summer playing gigs with his band Mulholland Drive and will be in town for shows here in Toronto. We'll tell you about them in just a minute. Luke joins us this morning. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You go to private school here in Toronto during the year. What do the teachers say about what you do and how you present yourself, Luke?
They don't. My private schools, they don't like what I'm doing. They don't like the whole rebellious thing. You know where I'm coming from. You went to a private school yourself. They're sort of all about homework. They're about getting your work done, and I'm sort of all about music. So it's a conflict there. You know?
Do you feel like you were born in the wrong time?
I think I was born definitely in the wrong decade.
Yeah. I want to go through things chronologically with you. At age 10, you picked up a guitar and you started playing classical acoustic guitar. How does that happen with a 10-year-old?
Well, generally that's where everyone starts. Everyone has to start somewhere. You start with your basic acoustic nylon string guitar, and you go from there. So that's where I started too. And
then you moved at age 12 to electric guitar.
First
that seemed to be the thing that really made you go, wow.
Yeah, that's what I got turned on to.
Yeah. When is it that you figured out that the music of the 60s and 70s that I grew up with was the stuff that you wanted to play?
I think it was with my mom. She was always telling me the stuff that I was listening to was always coming from stuff from the 60s and 70s, so I just started checking it out. That and my dad playing, Zeppelin, playing Hendrix, playing stuff for me like that.
So you were influenced by what your parents were influenced by.
It was my parents that got me into it.
So what is it about that music compared to what we hear today that really makes you come alive?
It has more freedom, more ability to do your own thing. Like the blues, for example, you're free to do whatever you want, as opposed to music today is more structured, more ABA sort of form, as opposed to back then where it was sort of free form, which is more interesting for the musician and the audience.
This is obviously a sign of creativity, but you're also learning about music. You go to the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles. What's it like to actually maybe put the creativity aside and learn the A to Z about music? Is that tough to do and then still keep the freshness of your music that's old?
Well, no, you have to learn the music before you can be creative. Once you know the theory, then you can take it and do what you want with it. So it has to be done in order to expand creatively.
At age 14, you wrote and recorded your first album. Yeah. Whoever can say that about what they've done? Boy, when I was 14, I think I just had my first babysitting job. Where did that come from?
It was that whole creative thing. I just started getting into writing songs. I wrote my first couple songs, and I kept going, and I just sort of put them all on a record. Just started writing. That's where it all began.
The music scene. Los Angeles, you know it well, you perform there. Toronto, you know it well, you perform here. What's the difference? What's it like?
Los Angeles is a lot bigger, a lot scarier. It's more of a little fish in a big pond sort of thing, as opposed to a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah. When you stand up in front of a crowd, and it's a crowd full of people my age, and you open for Trooper and Gatto and Chilliwack, what's the response from the audience?
Well, they love it. They love to hear the stuff that they grew up with, as opposed to bands that play stuff nowadays, which appeals to more of the younger audiences. But the older audiences love to hear Hendrix and Zeppelin and all that.
So many of the people that you cover, a lot of them aren't with us anymore, and for tragic reasons. And there's been, real angst in their lives as they move down the creative path and they try to figure out fame and fortune. How do you keep yourself grounded? What's going to keep you from falling into that kind of trap?
Just exactly that. I'm not going to follow in their footsteps. I learn from their mistakes. You would have thought they would already, but just learn from the mistakes that they made in the past. That's what they made them for.
You cover great music, but you write your own music. You're 16. You haven't lived a very long life, not a lot of experience living life. So how do you find what's necessary to put pen to paper and put music to the lyrics?
Well, I've had a lot of experiences in my 16 years, and that's proven to be enough for the songs that I'm writing now. And as I get more experience, the songs will get more mature. But you just write about what you live, what you feel.
Yeah. You've been going it alone, but you decided to pull together some pretty great musicians as well. Mulholland Drive is now what you call yourselves, this group of three, the three of you. Yeah, what's that like to sort of expand and be responsible at 16 for a band?
Well, I used to think of them as sort of a band, but we sort of gelled together as one now, so we just feed off each other. It's not a big responsibility, actually. We all connect on stage, we all connect off stage, we all write, we all good musicians, so we all get off from one another.
Yeah. A lot of people watching right now because a lot of kids are on vacation and they're about to go to their summer jobs, whether it's camp counselor, cutting lawns, working at a fast food joint. What do you say to kids about your life and what you've created at this age?
I just say keep doing what you want to do. Just follow what you believe in, and things will happen.
Your favorite artist from back in the time when I was, rocking and rolling, who do you admire the most? And not necessarily how the person lived, but the music that they created.
I just have to say it's a toss-up between Zeppelin and The Doors. They're my two big favorites.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself going? 16. You still have school to finish, and I know that you want to go even further. Okay. But where do you see yourself going in this extremely competitive business? We just showed the Rolling Stones here in Toronto. Talk about longevity. How are you going to find that longevity?
In the end, I'd like to, be as big as the Stones. Who wouldn't, right? But I want to keep playing the music, and whatever comes from that will come.
Excellent. I want to mention to folks where they can find you. Tomorrow night, Club 279 at the Hard Rock, you will be performing. You're opening for Chilliwack, also at the Hard Rock. And on August the 18th, you're a part of a rock and blues party at the York Event Theatre with proceeds going to Gilda's Club. It's a cancer benefit. Good for you. I think before we say goodbye, or as we say goodbye, we're going to see a little bit more tape of you in action. Luke Mulholland, Mulholland Drive. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Continued success. BJ and Money News coming up next. Stay with us. Have a look.
Searching my soul, I know what I want, but I just don't know how to go about getting it now.